official time, where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
Let's go. We here. Ain't there. Episode 545. We stay in alive like the BGs. We talking about BRA to the Y. It's Blitz. We got an update. I got some info from a source. Ain't too late. I hope it's not. I gave an exclusive a couple weeks ago. Didn't show up to the show, but it's okay. I got some more info to give you a low down. Like D-Lo Brown. He is in town. Not this town, but it's okay because it's about to go down. Hey. Let's go. 5, 4, 5. Stay in alive. PNP. Family. Another week with my fam. Let's jam. Yo. Man, we're going to have some fun as we do each and every single week on PNP. Jeff says he likes my intros. Thank you so much. That's why we have a good show, because of my intro. Man, we chill, man. We lounge every single week. We chill. We lounge. We with the fam. Let's go. Dr. C, I am with the PNP fam. Yo. Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate you loving my intros, man. That's the cool thing about PNP every week, man. I'm not a good freestyler, but at the same time, I'm a good person who sets the tone for a loungy atmosphere because I'm a very chill person. So you get to hear my bad freestyling. I'm working on it. You know, it's so funny because my PNP freestyles actually gives me the practice every single week because I always wanted to learn how to freestyle. I write music. I used to rap. I used to actually rap, and I've written plenty of rap music, rap songs. But I got lyrics for days. But I'm very analytical, So, it's one of those things that freestyling is complex to me because like I'm super analytical. And so I'm thinking like, oh, okay, wait a minute. That can go good with that. No, that can drop with that. That's some good parts with that. So, you know, I need to just get out of my head and just let it flow, let it flow. And so a lot of times I listen to chill hop music. Y'all know I listen to Christian rap and chill hop. Those are my musics of choice. And so uh it's interesting because like I'll listen to chill hop, I'll be in my truck, and I'll just keep going. And there'll be some times like once out of every like 6 times, it's like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm flowing, man. And I'm like, okay, I don't have a recorder to record this, but that wasn't that bad. And then the other times I'll be like, keep practicing, man. Keep practicing. All right, let's go, man. Let's go, P&P fam. Of course, hashtag Ask Doc is the way to go to get your comment on the board. Dion, I was disappointed with Clash at the Castle. Why keep building up Drew just to make him lose? It's getting annoying, and I'm losing interest now. I wish they hurry, take belt off Reigns. I think they dropped the ball with Drew, man. I think the match was really good, and I agree. They keep building up Drew just to make him. That doesn't help his character, and after a while, it's going to give him to a standpoint of making that and then losing and making the big one and losing. That's not a really, really good spot to be at, because eventually you get to the point where it's hard to recover from. So, Elvis, do you remember where you were on 9/11/2001? I do. Sunday would be 21 years since the darkest day in America. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's it's will forever be remembered. Will never be forgotten. It never should be forgotten. Very like you said, is very dark day, and very, very sad. I remember vividly where I was at, and no, and it's September 11th, 2001. I was up, heard the news about the first one, heard the news about the second one. I said, man, this is surreal. This is super surreal. And then I was wondering if I had some friends in New York. I was praying for all the victims, and I was wondering if I was having had friends in New York at the time. I was in college, so yeah, very, very sad there. Let's see. Elvis, a friend from school, passed away yesterday from illness. He's only 29. Yikes. Sorry to hear that. Praying for his family. Very, very difficult. What's up? Tina's in the building. Majestic Marie. Hey, man, while we're at it, go follow her stuff. Peaches and Power Bombs, I believe it's called, man. She's just such a sweet soul. And go follow her stuff. Go follow her stuff. Peaches and Power Bombs. I'm interested to know if it's a play on my name. Maybe you love my name so much that it's a play on my name. Peaches and Power Bombs. But guess what? I like the name though. I like the name. I'm just wondering if it's like if it was inspired by the Doctor. I'm intrigued about that. When I saw that, I said, it's a play on Pancakes and Powerslams. I like it. It really matches the sweetness of you. And yeah. AEW's over there acting like kindergartners. Yes, indeed. I'm keeping Eddie Kingston, but everybody else on that roster, y'all can have them. Well, much love to you, Dr. Chris. Likewise, back to you. So, yes, indeed, there's a bunch of inmates running the asylum over there in AEW. There's a bunch of kids that won't let that left their class and that's at recess and won't come back to their classrooms, and they're just making a bunch of just ruckus and getting in a bunch of fights outside in the field, and that's that. It's just a big train wreck over there. And I've learned about some things over in AEW. I found out about the Bobby Fish situation. I found out about some situations when it came to the war going in between the Punk and the EVPs. I've known that for a few weeks now. I just, not a big fan of releasing information. I usually get like multiple levels of clearance when I get information because I've been a journalist for long enough to just, I'm really big about making sure my cred is legit. And I do, on that note, I do want to apologize for a couple weeks ago. I divulged some information about Bray Wyatt being a part of the Clash of the Castle. That's the information I received right before Clash of the Castle, right? Actually, the day of, I believe, that I made that a couple weeks ago when I had the show. I received that information that day, and the source is pretty reputable. I mean, the source that gave me that information gave me some other information that's been very true. Two pieces of information particular about Austin Theory and his Money in the Bank. Watch out for that. About the Bobby Fish situation. So definitely some legitimacy in proving it to be a reputable source within WWE. But the Bray Wyatt information, I was confident enough to share it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So I'm like, oh, I cannot stand reporting things that don't happen. I have so much journalistic integrity. I've been doing this for a while. I just don't just throw stuff out there if there's no cred to it. And so I was like, oh man, I cannot stand this. So I reached out to the source. I was frustrated about it. And so the response that I got was that so Bray Wyatt did not show up because of creative differences at the last minute. Triple H even stated that he was his own greatest demise. Um, so basically, because of the leaks, they changed the ending. So basically, that is the news that I got with the Bray Wyatt information. So could that mean that he's coming? He's on the dial to come soon. I don't have that information to share. Could be. Not sure though. So I don't like sharing information that I'm not sure about. And I can speculate based on information I know, but I will make sure that I'm letting you know that I'm speculating, the information is not uh, verifiable through a source. And if it is verifiable through a source, I will let you know that as well. All right, Elvis, the Ohio State cheated on Saturday against Notre Dame. Elvis. That doesn't even make sense. Okay. There's give me an example of how Ohio State cheated. They won by 2 possessions. They kept Notre Dame to 10 points the entire game. There wasn't any missed calls that were pivotal to the game. There wasn't any rogue decisions. There wasn't any misfirings when it came to the balance of the game. Ohio State didn't even look good in the first half. They were trailing 10-7. And guess how many points Notre Dame scored in the entire second half? I'll give it a little bit more time. 0. They scored 0. Going into the first half, it was 10-7, and the Ohio State scored a touchdown in the third quarter, touchdown in the fourth quarter. They held Notre Dame to a scoreless second half. So, ladies and gentlemen, that, my friends, is exactly what I've been looking for the past 3+ years with Ohio State football. Our our offense have been explosive. We've been explosive for a long time. Our defense has been a bit sus. It's been a bit sus, especially against Michigan last year. We allowed Hassan Haskins to run 5 touchdowns. He's a Titans. He's a Titan, by the way. So that was a good pickup. But when he was in Michigan, we allowed him to run 5 touchdowns. He was kept going up the middle. It was horrible. It was horrible. And our defense continued to make us not look good. Same thing with Oregon. CJ Stroud was definitely spotty at Oregon. Wasn't as confident. That was the beginning of his career as a starter. So totally understand that. But end up being an offensive powerhouse, super explosive. We saw that in the Utah game. But even in the Utah game, if it wasn't for our explosive offense, we would have lost because even Utah ran at the score up against us. So our defense has not been very good for a while now. But although I can definitely nitpick, man, I was impressed with our showing in the second half. And I was impressed by our defense, man. That's what I've been looking for a long time. I love it. Renee, CM Punk is making headlines. He's talking to town. Yeah, man. Oh, man, that scrum. That old media scrum. Vince Russo and I was talking about, we were talking about this on the Legion of Raw last night. It's interesting about the Legion of Raw. Let me give you a little scoop about the Legion of Raw. See, my family's here with me on PNP. So all my PNP fam, I don't know how much of you watch Legion of Raw, but watch Legion of Raw every single Monday night and comment on the Legion of Raw videos because there's a lot of people who don't know who I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm a therapist. I used to have really bad anger problems. I used to be super aggressive, and I found Christ, and I'm a changed man. But don't bring the hood back in, out of me because I'm super chill, but you don't want to see the other side of me. So, but here's the thing. A lot of people get so upset that I get stuff like I get all types of stupid stuff by Marks, but people say that, man, you agree with Vince Russo all the time. Here's the crazy thing. That first of all, I'm the host of the show. I'm the anchor. Okay. Vince Russo is the co-host. I'm steering the ship, and the show is to get really Vince Russo's take, and I'm adding color to it, basically. So it's a fun, vibe between Vince Russo and I, but like the show is really to get Vince's take on segments of Raw. Now, again, I'm adding substance to it. Vince only watches Raw. I'm bringing in substance from SmackDown or NXT or anything else to really help Vince and just kind of steer the ship for Vince to give his opinion on things. But Vince and I, we work super well together. Like I've worked with a lot of wrestlers and a wrestling talent, and Vince Russo, I work amazingly well to him. And here's the crazy thing for all the marks out there. And I usually don't like addressing marks, but I want to make something clear. Like when it comes to agreeing with Vince Russo, I don't get paid to agree with Vince Russo. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Vince Russo will tell you that he'll speak up for me when we speak before and after the show. But here's the crazy thing is that guess what? I agree with just about every single thing that Vince Russo says about pro wrestling because I feel the same way. And he can say the same regarding me. Like I say stuff and he agrees with it too. So it's not just one sided here. It's not just, oh, well, he always agrees with Vince Russo. Vince Russo agrees with me too. And when there's times where there's some disagreement, I'll express that. There was a few times on Legion of Raw last night that I challenged, his takes on things. I didn't agree with the fact that He thought Rock and Roman Reigns should go into Mania with a title. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that, and I expressed that. But it's honestly very few moments that we don't agree when it comes to the state of professional wrestling, specifically when it comes to Raw. So I think Raw is probably the worst, other than Rampage, probably. I don't really count NXT, but I think the Raw is like the worst television show, like amongst the major television shows in professional wrestling nowadays. Dynamite's not the best either, but Dynamite still has a level of excitement that the honeymoon, like the fresh car smell is, it's like almost gone, but it's like not gone yet completely. So, that's, I want to make that very clear with that. You know, people speak out of ignorance, and they like double down on ignorance, and it makes you doubly ignorant. And so, like, you should probably ask, like, Dr. Chris, why are you agreeing with Vince Russo so much? And I'll tell you, the answer is that we agree on things all the time when it comes to our takes on pro wrestling. When Road Warrior Animal was alive, and we would do the Legion of Raw together. That's the origin of the show, was me and Road Warrior Animal. Same way, like, we agreed on just about everything when it came to critiquing Raw, and we literally get paid to critique Raw. We're not just like the Legion of Raw, and I anchor the show, like I format the show, so I don't want the Legion of Raw to be a, a typical wrestling Raw recap show. That's boring to me. Like, I wouldn't spend an hour. Like, there's so many wrestling recap shows, like, live post Raw. Like, that's like a dime a dozen. You can go to any site and watch a post Raw recap segment by segment. Oh, I thought that was awesome. Oh, I thought that was okay. Oh, they could have done really well. It was good to see Johnny Gargano doing his backstage interview. I can't wait to see him come back next week. You know what I mean? Like, you can see that anywhere. But no, I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing very well for myself as a doctor and as a businessman, as an entrepreneur with several businesses, because I like to do stuff different. Like Jeff says, I love your intros, man. When people come to PNP, they see a loungy, chill atmosphere. As you can see, you're coming in, we're having fun, we're having a great time together as a big loungy atmosphere. That's what's cool about PNP. That's what makes it stick out. With Legion of Raw, I make the show stick out because we don't just recap Raw, we critique Raw, because there's a lot of people who can't stand Raw who joins the crowd of people who can't stand Raw, because there's some people who they connect with and be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in Raw. When there's good spots, we talk about good spots. There's not many, but the fun thing about Legion of Raw is that I put over things and gimmicks. I put over the bouncies. I put over Toots Mont. I put over the Black Scorpion. I put over Veer Mahan, Fear the Veer. You know what I mean? Like, I put over all of those things to make the Legion of Raw fun. If it wasn't for my creation of putting over Toots Mont, the Black Scorpion, and making a timeout Joey, video snippet, I've put over Joey, Jason Kidd calling timeout to some ref called Joey. Now Joey's over on my show. The Black Scorpion, a silhouette of a person that I that talks, and with the modifier every week, and a dead former co-owner of the WW of the Capital Wrestling, co-founder of the WWE, WWF, the origins of it, Toots Mont. And so it's like, putting over, I came up with the bouncies thing, with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Put over there. I put over Eva Marie, and Vince, we connect so much that he was just right with me. Vince and I, we put over Eva Marie so much that Eva Marie follows both of us on Twitter now. So because of the Legion of Raw, Eva Marie follows both Vince and I on Twitter. So like that's the type of stuff that causes me to put something over and have fun. And stuff like that is what it's all about, man. So, people just don't get it, and then they just speak just out of ignorance, and they just sound like marks. So, it's it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like people literally spend their time, looking and paying attention to the show every week. You don't have to. You can you can watch something else. I get paid to talk about it, but people just complain about it. There's so many other post Raw shows out there that you can latch on to, and bye bye, bye bye. So PNP fam, go support my endeavors over at the Legion of Raw every single Monday on Sportskeeda, and write comments, write how much you enjoy the show to top off some troll comments. And if you see some trolls lurking around, hey, be a part of the troll patrol. All right, the PNP troll patrol. Anytime you see people trolling around, step in and give them the boot. Give them the big boo. All right. The Dr. Chris Feather rant has concluded. Let's go. Chris absolutely agrees. Do I think that Strowman confronts Reigns on SmackDown? Yes, I can see that. But I think I don't think that he's going to dethrone Reigns, though. I think it's just another person to make Reigns look good. And he's probably going to lose against Roman Reigns. Chris was only 22. What I think about the Steel biting and pulling here. CM Punk made a good line about himself. He said he's gotten, this isn't the only time he's been beat up in Cleveland. CM Punk is he's an interesting guy, man. I don't know CM Punk personally. All right, let's start there. I don't know CM Punk personally, but I know a lot of pro wrestlers who've given me their view on CM Punk, and it's quite interesting. I never bought into the Punk hype. I actually said when Punk joined AEW, I was like, you know what, this is probably the best. When he was on his honeymoon stage and he was kind of like, being a mark for the fans and stuff like that, and in doing his stage dives, there was like feel good moments, feel good era about that I actually liked, and I was like, you know what, and I've said it even in a live that I've said that I've done before. It's like, you know what, I kind of like this Punk. I kind of like it, and it's cool to me. I kind of like it. I'm kind of okay with this Punk, and so that was probably it. But never been a Punk guy, man. Never bought into the hype. It's not terrible, but it's just my opinion. That's okay. Buckeyes did be the Irish. You're right. Football Thursday, Bills and Rams should be cool. As I am a Titans fan. Lexi is in the building. What's going on? Chris, I just found out that there's suspension is going to happen soon, and they made changes to tomorrow's show. That is not surprising whatsoever. Renee doesn't believe Bray is showing up anytime soon. He might. Well, able to tell us what EC3 texted us last week about Braun. On that note, EC3 will be joining Vince. Well, he joined us last week, and he'll be joining Vince and I on our Wrestling Outlaw show. He's replaced Road Dogg for at least the next 3 weeks, but with the bombs that EC3 has been dropping that might be extended. So he's been dropping some bombs, and it was really, really interesting. So yeah. So go check that out. Go check that out on Sportskeeda. He's actually said something about Braun. So yeah, EC3 and I we've been texting back and forth. It's a cool dude, man. We text back and forth a lot. The power bombs part was, yes, I knew it. We're Georgia girls, so we're trying to find something to go with peaches, and thank you for the kind words. Oh, my pleasure. Yes. I knew it. But it's flattering. It's very, very flattering that you did it. Go check her stuff out. Peaches and power bombs. Do that. I mentored the co-host, Tina's co-host, and support her too. She's super cool too. I mentored her for a while as a journalist, and she has sharpened her pen much more after I mentored her, and she's doing great. So I'm super happy for the both of them with their endeavors in the podcast business. Chris, maybe it's not time yet for Bray Wyatt to come yet. Maybe sooner than later. I'm guessing he'll be back. Renato, are you new? We always give some love for newbies. If you're new, welcome. We always give some love to the newbies. Welcome to the fam. I like CM Punk. He had his problems in AEW. Now AEW is the company's the problem, or CM Punk the problem? What do you think? I think it's a mixture of both, Renato. I think CM Punk is a hothead, and for him to say what he said at the scrum, there's just Tony Khan is a wimp by allowing him to just say that stuff. I'd have shut it down. I'm like, no, I don't agree. CM Punk, we can handle, we can talk about this off air. This isn't really, professional. I mean, there's just certain things that just Tony Khan should have spoken up, man. He just looked like a wuss by just not saying anything. What is my dream car and why? Actually, my dream car is the one that I have right now. Why? Because I love it. Always wanted a big body black truck, and I have it. And I'm super blessed because of that. That's the perks of being a doctor. My Hawkeyes offense stunk and the defense dominated, but we can't do that against the Cyclones. Yeah, it was like 5-3 for most of the game, right? And picked up a safety. Then y'all pick up like 2 safeties, like the whole game, and it was like 2 save. Y'all got 7 points. I think it was 7-3 was the final, right? And y'all picked up 7 points by 2 safeties and a field goal, if I'm not mistaken. What an odd way to pick up 7 points. But hey, a touchdown to field goal is the same as 2 safeties and a field goal. And it's 1 point. It's at least 1 point more than the opponent. But I totally understand, like, playing against who they played and only, scoring 7 and with a 7-3 score. That is a little bit of something to be concerned about for sure. What's current WWE NXT star do I see beating Roman? Really don't see anybody beating Roman other than Bobby Lashley right now. I keep saying this. I think that Bobby Lashley should be the guy. He's believable. He's marketable. He's protected for the most part. And I think that he's super, he's solid with the fans. People like him. He's being cheered. I think that it should be Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley should win the Royal Rumble. But guess what? They'll probably have Cody win. Dion, is Brock's contract done finally? Have we seen him at the end of him finally? No, we have not. He's actually scheduled to come back for the New Year's event, the January 1st event that they had last year. He's supposed to be back for that this year. So we will be seeing him at least in a few months to set up a program for the New Year's event. Heard that Brock Lesnar might be coming back soon for match, maybe for Saudi, I'm guessing. I'm not sure about Saudi, but I know he's coming back for the January event. Omos and MVP Ben. Heard Omos, they don't have anything for him right now. So, Jeff, I know I'm once of the very few that care about this person, but do you think Mike Chioda might return to WWE now? He could, man. He was reffing there for like 30 years, wasn't he? I mean, I don't know, man. I hope he's doing okay health wise. I hope so. And you know, he's a legendary referee, that's for sure. Aaron, what's up, Mando? I think they should have had Braun come out and take out Theory instead of the tag team division. Yeah, somebody else. I think Theory would have been okay. I think he should have just came out to the Theory segment. Taking out the tag team division made absolutely zero sense to me. You're trying to build a tag team division. It's a number one contenders match. So you're telling me that Braun Strowman, and he is, he's bigger and more intimidating and stronger and more important-ish than the whole tag team division, but you don't want to portray that. You just obliterated the tag team division just to get Braun over. He could have been over any other way. He could, you know what's so interesting about this? Braun Strowman could have absolutely decimated the 24/7, everybody in the 24/7, except for R-Truth. I got a sweet spot for R-Truth. But he could have, R-Truth could have just ran away or something. But he could have just like totally decimated everybody in the 24/7 division. And he could have ended the 24/7 division for good. He could have, that would have been a better segment than just totally destroying the tag team division. That made zero sense to me. It made no sense to me. Why would you do that to the whole tag team division, man? It goes to show how you feel about tag team wrestling right now, which is sad. Michael, my two favorite wrestling internet show, Pancakes and Powerslams and Legion of Raw, both entertaining and informative. My guy. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it, man. I'd do it for you. With Solo up now, does Zayn get a face turn out? Yeah, I do think that Sami Zayn will be getting a face turn. I heard that there's going to be Sami and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the tag team championships. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that idea. The only problem is I still have zero clue why Kevin Owens is a babyface. They've done a terrible job explaining to the audience why Kevin Owens is a good guy now. It makes absolutely no sense. He said that he's going back to the whole KO show. He started that by writing off a babyface, which was Ezekiel. So that didn't make sense. I don't get that stuff. I say this every single week, y'all. It's not my responsibility to connect the dots. Quit giving me stuff and making my headache trying to figure out, oh, wait a minute. But wait a minute, like 3 weeks ago, he told that to him, but we never heard anything back. But now they're doing this, and that didn't make sense. But Dexter Loomis actually was going for AJ, and they never really brought the AJ thing back. But Edge turned on AJ leading to WrestleMania, and then he beat AJ, then he beat AJ again, but then the Judgment Day turned on him, but AJ never got back to Edge. Nothing happened there. That's too much. That's too much. We shouldn't be doing that because, again, if this is episodic television, all of those fringes, all of those loose ends, they can cause someone to lose interest in a show because they're spending so much time trying to figure it out. It's not the responsibility of the viewer to do that. So stop doing that. Stop it. Stop it. Lexi, looking at the ending karaoke spot with Drew and Tyson, do you feel like there was an audible call due to a no-show surprise? I do, because that that segment, that karaoke segment, was super, super, super weird. Super weird. And it was after Roman winning, they still had time left. And they had Tyson Fury come out, shake Roman Reigns' hand. Why? And then shake Drew McIntyre's hand. And then Drew cutting a promo with them doing karaoke with Tyson Fury. That was a super, super weird ending to a pay-per-view. And you know good and daggone well that was not originally in the books. I rest my case. 7 points without a touchdown. Yeah, that's the first in a long time getting 7 points without a touchdown. Yeah, absolutely. Lexi, Brian, Last, and Corny have been alluding to the EVPs of AEW abusing their titles for at least a year, given the antics of the past few weeks. So I think those stories are credible. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. So you have Kenny Omega in the Bucks as the EVP spot. He used to be, Cody used to be a part of that too. But from what I heard though a while ago is that Tony Khan doesn't even really give them a lot of stroke anymore as EVPs. So like they used to have a lot to do with like the production meetings and like creative and stuff like that. But Tony Khan basically just took over everything. Like he just wants to be the ultimate judge, jury, executioner, contributor, and all things AEW. So I mean, it's just going all over the place. My brother Dez is in the building. What's up, my man? Elvis is asking, do I think I could get in contact with Hulk Hogan for an interview? True story. I almost interviewed Hulk Hogan for ESPN. I've talked to his agent. I actually got some scoop from his agent before. And there were some dates that conflicted. But this is a few years ago. I don't remember, probably 17, 18, somewhere around there. Almost had a freelance. I'm still in good contact with one of the senior guys at ESPN. Almost got a freelance piece for ESPN. So, and I had a good pedigree. I've written for Sports Illustrated before. I've written for Fox Sports, and so I had a pretty there was some interest. Like there was some interest of bringing Hulk Hogan in for a freelance interview. But I've been so busy, man, over the years, getting my PhD that I never really followed through with getting it, but almost happened. Wouldn't it be funny if him and Karrion Kross somehow become a tag team because they were part of Control Your Narrative? Huh. Braun and Kross. They're booking Kross as a heel, which he should be. I think perhaps he should be a big baby face, but right now I actually am okay with what they're doing with Kross. Like the random, like the interviews that they're doing that's like black and whitish, like away, like kind of like the press box area and stuff. Like I like that stuff. Like those nuances really helps with the character, and I like it. I like that stuff. So they need to do more of that with Kross to salvage Vince McMahon bringing him up, looking like Lord Humongous and losing to Jeff Hardy. Seems like the 24/7 chase around the ring is over. Haven't seen it since Triple H. Yeah, I've talked about that on Legion of Raw, and I like that's one of the biggest things I do like about the Triple H era. They don't use the 24/7 segment. I use Dana Brooke much either. Vil Mahan almost. Yeah, they don't use either, and none of them anymore really. But when I interviewed Nick Patrick, I actually talked to Nick Patrick on the phone a few weeks ago. You want Patrick back? You want do you want Patrick back? Look at Lexi being a mod. Lexi being a mod. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of mods that we need. My homie. Chris, I don't think they know what they are doing with Brian Danielson. I imagine you say right now they have him winning then losing matches. Yeah, here's the thing with Brian Danielson. Brian Danielson is someone who is he's good at wanting people to get over. But the problem with that is that you got to have a balance with wanting people to get over mixed with going to like putting yourself over too and making sure that you're protecting your brand. Protecting your brand is very, 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 very important when it comes to really creating a legacy. And I will say this, Jericho's one of my top five favorite wrestlers of all time, but I don't think Jericho did a really good job of protecting his brand. I mean, all the incarnations and stuff is cool, but there was times where he lost to Evan Bourne, he lost to Fandango on WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a consistency when it comes to Jericho to make him bigger than everybody else. Like the people who were bigger, they didn't lose much. They didn't lose much, man. And so but their losses meant something, and that's the way to protect your brand. Be very, very selective in who you lose to, and make those losses count. That's why that's how you protect your brand. But there's people who don't do that, and although Brian Danielson is a phenomenal wrestler, I don't think he does a really good job protecting his brand. Brandon, who's the most likely to beat Roman, Cody, Seth, or one of the Usos? Can I say none? Okay, for the integrity of your question, Cody, but my personal opinion, hopefully none, but most likely for the integrity of your question, I would say Cody. Blake, what's up with Bray's bio change on Twitter? Change the Giant Killer. Think it's about someone in particular. Just trolling again. The Highlander tweet was questionable too. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Be very, very alert when it comes to Bray Wyatt, because there's a good chance he will be coming sooner than later. One thing about Roman Reigns' post press conference, he was acting like crybaby because the fans wouldn't acknowledge him. It's part of being a heel, man. Part of being a heel. I thought it was odd WWE decided. Jimmy's in the building. What's up, Jimmy? I thought it was odd WWE decided to have Braun attack the tag teams and would have handed him invade the main event, destroyed the cage, lay out Lashley and Miz, have Loomis do his thing. I definitely wouldn't have laid out Lashley. I think you need to protect Lashley. I see where you're going there, but I agree definitely with the tag teams. I definitely wouldn't have had him laid out Lashley. Lashley needs to be ultimately protected, like 100% protected. Lexi Tripp said in his interview that a communication breakdown occurred with Sasha Banks at WWE. Do you think this could stall a return for her? Will this affect Naomi? Sasha's about her she's She's about business with promoting the Sasha brand, man. Sasha's about Sasha, and Sasha's about the Mandalorian. Sasha's about making $30,000 in signings and conventions and things like that. And she's like, "Heck, I don't need this." Will it affect Naomi? I do think it could, but might be a red herring. We might see Sasha and Naomi sooner than later as a tag team. I do think there's some life to potentially Trish Stratus and Sasha down the line. But I'm tired of like flip flopping face and heel turns with Sasha Banks. Like, there's just so many people who flip flops face and heel turns. That's the reason why like Paul White would never be like the greatest among the greatest of all time, and even top 10 giants. I mean, he's top 15, 20, perhaps. I mean, he did a lot. I mean, he has a very loaded resume. But all the flip floppy face and heel turns, that's going to really, really put a huge damper and a huge mark and a black eye on his career. All right, a few more. PNP Nation. Why would Triple H and Braun come out during the tag match? Why would Triple H have Braun come out during the tag match that when whoever won would face Uso? Yeah, again, it made absolutely no sense to me. It was ridiculous. Top 5 favorite tag teams all time. Do you think it's time WWE break up New Day? I feel Kofi's been in coming Joe compared to what he used to be when he joined the roster in 2009. I don't think they should ever break up the New Day ever, because none of them will do good as singles. We won't see. I mean, Kofi wasn't even a single when Kofi Mania happened. He was a part of the New Day. If he was by him, like it wouldn't have made sense. Like the New Day was there with them during the whole build to Mania. They were there. They celebrated with him. Like, just no. Like, there's no. I mean, breaking up the New Day would be a step in the absolutely wrong direction. They need to build them back up and try again, but they should be a tag team. They should be a tag team for the rest of their career. And if they want to retire and do agent work and backstage work and be in the Hall of Fame, they definitely have a Hall of Fame career right now. Definitely have a Hall of Fame career together. They definitely don't have a Hall of Fame career alone or apart individually. No, definitely not. They should not break up. Piper protects his brand. One of the fewest losses was Bret Hart. Yep, exactly, Mike. Exactly. Now, I think Paul Heyman should have Doudrop as a client, have her dye her hair and change her attire. Yeah. Well, I think should be Roman, Bobby Lashley. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, man. Seeing Bray sooner than later doesn't sound like you think he's going to be heading to Freddie P. Jr. to start a promotion. Would be stoked to see him this Friday. What say you? Freddie Prinze Jr. startup promotion. Man, yeah, people are just grabbing some money and seeing if it works. Bray this Friday. I would definitely be interested to see Bray on this Friday. Definitely, absolutely. An AEW match between Ruby Riott and Taya Mello. Ruby was injured with a knee to the face. I think Taya's a bad wrestler, and cannot see Ruby retiring due to numerous injuries. Yeah. Plus, Ruby's AEW run has been very subpar. It's been very subpar. I can see her taking like a Madison Rain role as far as like agenting, kind of steering the ship, backstage with the women's division, but very lackluster AEW reign. Do I think she's a bad wrestler? Do I think Ty is a bad wrestler? I would say bad wrestler. I would say I think she definitely needs some development. I would say subpar. Yeah, subpar. Big Boss Man in the top 100 superstars of all time. I don't know, 79. I don't know. He's up there though. Say he's definitely 20, especially his blue and white cop gimmick and later his corporate attire during the 90s. He carries a big stick, bob and chain too. Looking for trouble. It's coming after you. You'll be serving hard times. You say definitely one of the greatest theme songs of all time. Top 20. Has there been any updates on Big E's condition to return? He is Big E said he's cool with never coming back. He's been champion, he's been world champion, he's been multiple time tag team champions. Big E has stated that he's totally cool if he doesn't ever come back, and because he took his neck brace off recently and he's definitely recovering very well, but doesn't seem like he's in any rush to come back. What diva would be an awesome return besides Sasha and Naomi? Who's out there for a return in WWE? I don't know. Return? Who else is there to return other than all the people who come back for the for the women's battle royal, like a Kelly or a Michelle McCool or the Bellas, yeah, not really anybody out there. With Kyle O'Reilly out for the foreseeable future, do you think he would be released? Do you think Jeff Hardy would be released? See, Tony Khan has this thing where he doesn't like releasing people. He just allows people to just like their contracts to expire. So I can see Hardy's contract expiring. I can see O'Reilly's contract expiring. And Khan made it very clear that Adam Cole's contract isn't up until 2027. So we'll see how that goes. Jimmy, do you think the Dominic heel turn? Do I like the Dominic heel turn? Do I think he needs a lot of work? He doesn't feel like he'll do it. He doesn't feel like he'll do it either. Heel turn's very bland. It looks like a lost puppy. Looks like a lost puppy. And a lost puppy doesn't make a good heel, that's for sure. Bring back Eva Marie. They've tried many times to bring back Eva Marie. It doesn't work. It's not working. Unfortunately. Although she's a star. But not working. All right, PNP. PNP Nation. Man, this went by fast. As expected. Because PNP is the place to be. Is the place to be. Every Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. It's the place to be. You know what time it is? It's time to go. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go on episode 545. How about I do a freestyle in the dusty voice, baby? Baby. Dusty Rose, the American dream, baby. That's a good question, Brian. Former wrestler, do a good job coming back as a manager. The person I think is Eli Drake, 'cause I've been saying that. Now he's with Maximum Models. Can't really think about anybody else right now that would be a good manager. B&B, I'll see you later. Thank you for joining. Hit the sub to get the notifications. B&B, I'll see you later. I'll see you later.